Welcome to the We Can Fix Climate Change podcast, where we bring the stories featured in our weekly Substack newsletter to life. In today's episode, we'll cover a range of topics, including the proposal for a global jet fuel tax, voting to stop new oil drilling in the UK, the Pope's call for urgent action on climate change, the environmental benefits of switching dogs to a vegan diet, concerns over Apple's carbon neutrality claim for the Apple Watch, and the impact of climate change on dolphins. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest episodes.
In a recent opinion piece for The Guardian, Dave Evans, a green energy industrialist, shared a change of heart regarding his support for Just Stop Oil. This protest group aims to halt new oil drilling in the North Sea. However, he now believes that the upcoming election holds far greater power in achieving their common goal. Evans has made the decision to withdraw his financial backing for Just Stop Oil, driven by his perspective that this upcoming election is truly pivotal, one of the most important in our lifetimes. He firmly asserts that voting out the current government is the most effective way to put an end to new oil drilling. Evans is launching a fresh initiative, aptly named Just Vote. With this campaign, he aims to inspire and encourage individuals to participate in the impending election by casting their votes. By mobilizing a collective voice through the ballot box, Evans believes that ordinary citizens possess the ultimate power to drive meaningful change and influence the future trajectory of environmental issues. He sees this as a crucial opportunity to address new oil drilling, believing that voting out the current government is the key to achieving their shared objective. With his newly established initiative, Just Vote, Evans is striving to empower individuals to actively engage in the democratic process and make a lasting impact on environmental policies.
The EU's nominated climate lead, Wopke Hoekstra, is proposing a global tax on jet fuel. The aviation industry is responsible for about 2% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and that's a pretty hefty contribution. But here's the thing. There are currently no taxes on jet fuel. That means airlines aren't paying their fair share when it comes to the costs of climate change. But a global tax on jet fuel? That's a step in the right direction. Not only would it help to reduce emissions from the aviation industry, but it would also raise much-needed revenue. Developing countries could benefit too. They would have a new source of revenue to support their own climate efforts. Of course, convincing other countries to get on board with this global tax won't be easy. Experts are warning that it'll be a tough sell. But hey, sometimes the tough sells are the ones worth fighting for. And let's not forget about the potential for leveling the playing field between airlines. Those that are investing in sustainable aviation fuels should get some recognition for their efforts. A global tax on jet fuel could help make that happen. The revenue from this tax could also be used to fund research and development into new aviation technologies, like electric planes. This tax could also support developing countries in transitioning to a low-carbon economy.
Pope Francis has issued a new apostolic exhortation on the topic of climate change. The document, called Laudato Deum, urges the world to take immediate action to tackle the climate crisis, which he says is a grave danger to humanity. He also states, "It is undeniable that climate change is caused by human activity." The Pope's message is not new. He has been a vocal advocate for environmental stewardship and social justice. He also stresses the need to care for the poor and marginalized, who are often the most harmed by climate change. Some of his recommendations are also very similar to our 10 Ways to Save the Planet list. Reduce our carbon footprint by driving less, using public transportation, and making our homes more energy efficient. Eat less meat and more plant-based foods. Support businesses and organizations that are working to reduce their environmental impact. Get involved in climate activism to raise awareness of the issue and to pressure governments to take action. We all have a responsibility to address climate change.
Did you know that putting your dog on a vegan diet could actually help save the planet? According to a study published by The Guardian, if all dogs around the world went vegan, it would result in more greenhouse gas emission savings than what the UK produces. This is because the animal agriculture industry, which includes dogs and cats, is a major contributor to climate change. In fact, it's responsible for a whopping 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, surpassing even the transportation sector. By making the switch to vegan dog food, you can make a significant difference. Dogs and cats consume about 20% of the world's meat supply, so opting for plant-based alternatives can have a real impact. The great news is that there are plenty of healthy and nutritious vegan dog food options available on the market, so you can ensure your furry friend is still getting all the essential nutrients they need. If you're considering this change, it's important to consult with your veterinarian first to ensure your dog is suitable for a vegan diet. It's recommended to gradually introduce vegan food alongside their current diet, monitoring their weight and energy levels to ensure they are thriving. Offering a variety of vegan foods will also keep them interested and excited about their meals. Not only will a vegan diet benefit the planet, but it can also save you some money. Bonus: vegan dog food is often cheaper than traditional options, so if you're looking to reduce your carbon footprint and contribute to a better world for all, why not consider putting your dog on a vegan diet? It's a simple yet effective step towards a more sustainable future.
So, there's been a recent report challenging Apple's claim that its new Apple Watch is carbon neutral. Inside Climate News published an article discussing this report, stating that Apple isn't providing enough information about its suppliers to support the claim of carbon neutrality. Instead, it seems that Apple suppliers rely more on renewable energy certificates rather than actually using renewable energy directly. This news has definitely raised some eyebrows among environmental groups and experts who argue that Apple isn't doing enough to minimize its environmental impact. They feel that the claim of carbon neutrality is a bit misleading. Sure, Apple has made progress in reducing its own environmental impact by transitioning to 100% renewable energy and investing in renewable projects globally, but the issue lies in their supply chain. Apple's products are manufactured by their suppliers in China, and China's electricity grid heavily depends on coal. So it's no surprise that Apple's supply chain is still a significant source of emissions. Apple claims to be working with its suppliers to address this issue, but they haven't provided much detail on how they're actually doing it. It seems like Apple still has a long way to go in truly reducing its environmental impact throughout its entire operation.
No, dolphins are not happy with climate change. Just like any other living creature, dolphins are suffering from the harmful consequences of climate change. According to a report published by EcoWatch, a distressing discovery was made in Brazil's Lake Tefé. Over 100 Amazon River dolphins were found dead, and scientists suspect that the record-high temperatures caused by climate change are the primary cause. The Amazon River dolphin is already considered a vulnerable species, making this mass death a great cause for concern. These dolphins are sensitive to changes in water temperature and oxygen levels, which are being heavily impacted by the extreme heat and drought in the Amazon. The destruction of the rainforest, which acts as a crucial carbon sink, contributes to climate change. Consequently, the amplified heat and drought are a direct result of this global issue. This unfortunate incident serves as a poignant reminder of the extensive influence climate change holds over our planet. It highlights the urgency to take immediate action in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and safeguarding our environment from the catastrophic effects of climate change. It is essential that we recognize the gravity of the situation and work tirelessly towards a sustainable future for all living beings.
In today's podcast, we covered a range of important topics, including a green energy industrialist's shift from funding oil drilling to advocating for voting, the proposal of a global jet fuel tax by the EU climate nominee, the Pope's call for urgent action on climate change, the potential emission-saving benefits of switching dogs to a vegan diet, concerns over Apple's claim of carbon neutrality for the Apple Watch, and the devastating impact of climate change on dolphins, with over 100 Amazon River dolphins found dead in Brazil. Thank you for tuning in to the We Can Fix Climate Change podcast. As always, don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends, and visit all our social media channels. And consider checking out our newsletter with more stories and links at wecanfixclimatechange.substack.com. Links are, as always, in the description box. See you next week.